Hello family, it's Queen. I'm back today. I'm going to show you guys how to make some cookies. These cookies have been in my repertoire for years. I've been making them since I was young in my easy bake oven, but I've tweaked the recipe over the decades. But I'm going to share it with you guys. I won a ribbon with these in a bake-off one time. But anyway, I'm going to share it with you guys. So we're going to start off with, just some simple ingredients. The only thing that you guys might have trouble, not even trouble, because you can order sorghum online now. It's everywhere now. I get mine at the local farmer's market down the road, but I've been eating sorghum for years. If you don't have sorghum molasses, use regular sulfur molasses or whatever. Okay? I like the taste of sorghum. Or you can mix both, the store molasses or the sorghum molasses, the blackstrap molasses. But we're going to be using a host of things here. We got the spices, which I'll go over the amounts. We're using ginger, cardamom, cinnamon, allspice, cloves, some vanilla. We got some granulated, sugar here, unrefined. We're going to even be using some black pepper. I got some rum here, the alcoholic rum, or you can use rum extract. You know what that is. Back there is the sugar that I'm going to be using, and this is the flour and spices that I have ready to go. And in my bowl here, you guys know what that is. Butter. Alright, so we're going to get started here. In the bowl, like I said, I have 3/4 of a cup. I'm going to put the recipe in the description because I'm always messing up something. So, but we have 3/4 of a cup of unsalted butter here, which I'm going to add 1 cup of the granulated sugar into the bowl, just like that. And then I have, and this is optional, I buy these all the time, but you don't have to add it. This is an envelope of vanilla sugar. You don't have to do it, I just do it. So, but if you have vanilla, you can make your own vanilla sugar. A teaspoon of that, and then I really mix this batter by hand, but being that I only have one hand, I'm going to use a mixer. So we're going to get that going for you guys. And hope you guys are well today. So we're going to get that started. I hope you guys can hear me over this mixer. So we're going to cream that up. And you don't have to get it light and fluffy. You just want to get it well incorporated with each other. So I'm going to be going back and forth with this mixer. I'll show you what you should be looking for once you start creaming it. But when you're making cookies, unless you're making meringue cookies, cookies are best made by hand. I'm a professional baker / pastry chef, and I'm telling you right now, cookies made by hand are the best. Because you don't overmix cookies, you don't want to overmix. Let that go. And I'm going to that's what you're looking for even when you're making cakes. See how that butter went from yellow to white? That's when you know that you've creamed something. When the butter changes color on you. One thing I don't like people to do is lick their fingers and stuff when they're baking. That's like a pet peeve of mine. I know if we did that in pastry school, our teacher went nuts. Okay, Miss Garrett. I know you know what I'm talking about here. Miss Toba Garrett. So we're going to mix it a little more. When you're creaming something, like I said, you're looking for the color change in the butter, and then you're looking for the sugar so you can't really see it. It's like almost dissolved into the butter. That's a proper creaming technique. Because you also don't want to over-cream something either. Okay? And that's looking good. That's kind of like perfect right there. That's what you're looking for. Then you scrape down your bowl like so. Scrape it down. And that's about it. Make sure you get everything off your spatula. And let me wipe my hands. I don't want to lick my fingers. Hold on. Never lick your fingers. You know, after you cook. Okay, we got our egg here. I'm going in with one egg, one fresh egg. Here we go. Put your mixer back on. I'm going to blend the egg in there nicely. You guys know how to make cookies. This is a simple cookie dough. Nothing, if I was showing you how to make a complicated cookie dough, which I find no cookie dough to be complicated. None. And don't say, oh, because you're a baker. No, they're not complicated. So you want to get that egg in there real good. Guys, these cookies are so good this time of year. I make these in the fall. I really don't make them in the summer. I make them in the fall and winter. They're great with tea, chai tea, hot tea, even a glass of milk. These are great. That's how I like to eat mine. A glass of cold milk that I put in the freezer for like 20 minutes. And so you scrape down your bowl. Like I'm doing. Not complicated at all. Back down one more time. Okay. That's what you're looking for. That's a perfectly creamed cookie batter. Cookie, butter, sugar, and egg emulsion. That's what you're looking for, okay? All right, now, at this point, I like to add my vanilla. And I'm going to use a teaspoon, and I'm going to eyeball it. Who really measures vanilla? Anybody in here? I don't measure vanilla. I make my own vanilla. I'll even show you guys. I have it back here because I like to keep it in a dark, cool place. I have it in an old whiskey bottle where you can see my vanilla beans in there. This has been brewing for a couple of months. So, I've been using stuff out of it. I'll probably bottle it up and give some bottles away for Christmas to my baker friends. Anyway, so back to the cookies. Mix the vanilla in. Excuse me, guys. Mix that in. Excuse my hand. And that's good. So now we're gonna just remove the bowl a minute so I can put this stuff in. This is the flour and the spices. Like I said, we got the cloves, the flour, and I will put the recipe in the description box. The flour is 2 1/4 cups of flour, and the spices I like to use, I'm sorry, this is 2 1/4 cups of flour, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. I'm going to put that in there. 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Teaspoon of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of ginger, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of cardamom and allspice, and 1/2 teaspoon of cloves, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. That's what's in here. I might have missed something, but check the description box. Okay? So, hold on a second. Hold on 1 second, guys. Hold on. And I'm going to try. I don't know if it's going to work. I'm going to try to want to, sieve this flour into the butter and stuff. You don't have to, but I like to do it just to take out any lumps in the flour. I like to do this before I actually show you guys. This will be better than me. Do it beforehand. Put the rest of it in there. Okay. There we go. Excuse my hand for that. And the black pepper, I forgot to tell you, put in a half a teaspoon of the black pepper. The black pepper is really to give it that extra kick. I like to put black pepper in stuff. Okay, that's good. There we go. So you got the spices in there. And now we're going to go back down with the mixer and just mix to incorporate. You don't want to over mix either. You just want to get everything incorporated in there. So like I said, 2 1/4 cups of flour. Oh, I forgot to put in the sorghum, guys. See, this is why. When you make the cookies, put the sorghum in, the sorghum molasses, after you cream your butter and sugar. I'm sorry, guys. Put your sorghum molasses in there after you cream your butter and your sugar. That's when you really want to add this. It's okay if you like me and be stupid and forget. But put your sorghum or your sorghum molasses or your blackstrap molasses in after you cream your butter and your sugar. Okay? And if I wasn't holding this phone, I would scrape that out for you guys. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Back down. So, there we go. 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of granulated sugar, 1 egg, a tablespoon of cornstarch, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of ginger, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of allspice, half a teaspoon of cardamom, half a teaspoon of cloves. The egg, like I said, and 3/4 of a cup of butter. The oven will go on 350. Turn it up just to get everything in there. And that's really your dough. Then you want to give it one good scrape down on the side of your bowl, like that. Scrape it down, like so. Okay. Okay, good. And then you want to add, this is optional, but I like it in here. This is 1 tablespoon of pure rum, or you don't have to put it in there, but it's optional. It gives the cookies a nice taste. Give that a good mix in there. Then the final thing we're going to add is raisins. These raisins have been soaking in rum, in pure rum, and a little bit of vanilla overnight, so that they're nice and plump and they don't burn in the oven. They're very delicious. You don't have to, but I soak mine, and these raisins I get from a Middle Eastern store because I like their raisins. So this is about a cup of raisins. They'll plump up and look like more. If these are too big for you to put in a cookie, then cut them up. Chop it before you soak them. Okay? So that they can absorb the flavor. All right, so we're going to put that in there. Our raisins. Put everything in there. Okay? That's our raisins. These are a sorghum molasses spicy raisin cookie. Then you mix it, give it a little mix. You could add nuts if you want to. If you were to add nuts in here, I would put like, some walnuts or something like that, or pecan. pecan. Okay? I always try to be proper when I'm talking out but down south we said pecan. So that's basically your dough. Then you want to scrape this dough out. That's your cookie recipe. You want to scrape this dough out and put it in a bowl. This is what I have here. Okay? This is the dough. This is what it looks like. And then you want to refrigerate this. I like to refrigerate mine overnight. You want this, the butter and everything to set up in it and the flavors to meld. And then you can bake them off. I like to use a scoop, but you know, whatever. Big tablespoon will do the job too. And put it on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. And you should be good to go. At 350, I usually bake mine until they're puffed up and lightly browned. You don't want to overbake these. They'll burn. So I'd say about, you put it at 350, about 12 minutes or so should do it. And after 12 minutes, you should get that. You know. Only problem I have with these cookies is while I was making this video, I let the cookies sit out on the counter, the dough, the batter. It's best to bake these straight from the refrigerator because they hold their shape better. But that's up to you. If you like a cookie that's still moist and flavorful. So, let's see. Let's take a cookie here. Let me break one. And you can see how the inside is. How nicey it is on the inside. It's cookie. See that? And how nice and brown it is on the bottom. This is how I like my cookies. This is how I like these cookies to be. You know. And they're nice and moist. Nice and flavorful. I mean, I smell the spices from here. I go heavy on my spices, but you can go light or heavy on your spices. It's up to you. Let me take a bite. So good. Guys, please try these cookies. They're so good. I'm going to put the recipe in the description box. Give it a try. If you do, let me know. And if you like them, keep it in your repertoire. Okay? These won me a blue ribbon so I can brag. All right, guys. Thank you. Thanks for watching my videos. I really appreciate it a lot. A lot. Okay. Have a good evening. I'm swallowing cookies here. Okay. Bye-bye.